Welcome to another edition of Chargers Unleashed. Jake Hefner and Dan Wolkenstein here with you from the LAFB Network. If this is your first time tuning in the show, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Dan Wolkenstein. Very special episode today with a very special guest. Dan Wolkenstein plus working the phones equals great things happen. In this particular circumstance, as always, Dan does. The floor is Dan Wolkenstein's to introduce us to who's joining us today on Chargers Unleashed.
Your Los Angeles Chargers cornerback, Mr. Tarheeb, still joins us fresh after camp. Just got done with pads and was gracious enough at this time to talk a little Chargers football with us. Great time discussing things with Tarheeb. We talk about head coach Jim Harbaugh. We talk about Jesse Minter. We talk about building a bully. We talk about his expectations going into his rookie season. The sky's the limit for this defense, how much fun he's having and his team is having under Jesse Minter. So much that we talk about with Tarheeb still. Huge shout out to Tarheeb to come on the show with us. It was a blast, and I can't wait for you guys to hear it. Jake, before we get to that, let's pay the bills. Let's talk about our friends before we get to listen to and see the one Tarheeb still.
Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything online sports betting. Right now, you can receive a 50% free bet for up to $250 on your first deposit to bet on anything from the UFC to baseball to Formula One racing. Bet Online has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game is over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our 150 slot games. Head on over to the website today. That's betonline.ag to get on the action. Just make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE. That's BLEAV to receive your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit for up to $250. Bet Online. The game starts here.
He can cover. He can tackle. He can certainly intercept the ball. You've seen pick sixes at training camp. The one Tarheeb still joins us next on Chargers Unleashed. Fresh off another day of Chargers training camp, full pads day over there in El Segundo. Your Los Angeles Chargers cornerback Tarheeb still joins us on Chargers Unleashed. Tarheeb, thanks so much for coming on. How are you?
I'm doing good. I appreciate you for having me on the show.
You're very welcome. We have all appreciation for you as well. You just finished practice, full pads day out there today. Another post-practice fourth quarter session with Ben Herbert. How was today's practice? What were your kind of main takeaways?
Today's practice was really good. We had to walk through before practice, really get a visual, slow some things down a bit, what we're going to see. And then we just go out there, executed that practice full speed. But we're really just trying to be attention to detail, making sure we're focused in on the little things, doing the little things consistently well. And then also just training good habits. So it was a good day.
We're going to get into the attention details and that later on, because there's a lot of questions that I have around Jim Harbaugh, around head coach and defensive coordinator Jesse Minter, around some of your teammates and some of the attributes that maybe you have. But I guess for you, kind of just to open it up, like how has it been for you as a rookie, like coming into the NFL and the learning curve to get to where you are now? Like, are you at where you need to be? Like, what's it been like for you since that day you got called?
Since I got called, one thing I'll say, like, when that happened, I was very happy, very excited, very blessed. And then also the place where I got the call from, LA, and then the people that's here, the things they're building, something great to be a part of. But I would just say since then, really just been trying to work, trying to grind, trying to create a role for myself on the team, whether that's on defense, special teams, however. But I would just say it's really coming along. There's something you can learn every day. So I wouldn't say that I've learned everything or everything that I need to know. There's still stuff I'm learning every day. The vets, they're great resources, also the coaches. But I would just say that it's definitely an adjustment different from college. It's like you go from high school to college, it's an adjustment. You got to adjust to the speed and the different things that offenses do. And then it's the same thing once you get to NFL, and everybody's good. So you can't take a play off. So that's the biggest thing I would say.
Now, it's interesting that you mentioned kind of the difference between going from high school to college to the pros. And I think, so much is being talked about from your fellow teammates as well as the coaches on this team about the new energy from Jim Harbaugh and the whole staff, really, with everybody being brought in, the attention to detail, like you mentioned already. Like, what is it about the coaches and their style there that resonates so well with the players? Like, how does the style of coaching here with the Chargers compare to what you've seen previously, and how is it benefiting you?
I would just say really being around Coach Harbaugh, however long it's been, however a couple months, really when he talks, people really listen and people really believe the things he says. Obviously, not because he's just because it sounds good, but also because he has the proof to back it up, whatever he's saying. You know what I'm saying? He's won everywhere he's been. He's just a different kind of guy, and people just attract towards that. You know what I'm saying? He has great energy, and then like I'm saying, like what he says, people really believe it. People really want to go hard for Coach because you can tell he's very passionate. He cares a lot about football, a lot about his players, and a lot about winning. So, I mean, guys understand his vision. Guys buy into his vision, and then when you see the vets and the older guys on the team actually buying into the things he's saying and really believing it. Everyone else of the team really just kind of like follows suits, and it all makes sense.
And you mentioned the vets, and I was going to get to that, but I'll ask you now. Like, there's a lot of veterans on this team that probably bring like a ton of perspective and experience in the NFL and the offseason and going through all the ins and outs of the daily life of an NFL player. You know, Derwin, Khalil, Justin, just to name a few. Who has been some of the more influential teammates to you so far as a rookie?
I would just say I kind of interact with a lot of those guys, even if they're on offense. But I would just say for me, the biggest thing, Derwin talks to me a lot. You know what I'm saying? Just a lot about just having good energy every day, making sure I'm having the right approach at practice. Also talking about plays. Alohi as well. Christian, Zion, really just like a lot of those guys on defense. Really just they talk a lot about mindset too. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where it really starts. It starts with your mindset and your approach on it. But they help me on the defensive calls and like the scheme, things like that. But they really just give me a lot of life advice that I could use.
Okay, I could use some life advice. Our listeners, viewers could use life advice. What's the best life advice you've gotten from a teammate so far?
If I had to really think of something, well, Derwin says a lot like think about like all the things you want in your life. Like football can get you that. So anything like that you want to do for your family, that you want to do for yourself, if you want to help other people, football can create an opportunity for you to get that. So if you do everything you're supposed to do on the field and handle all your plays and be where you're supposed to be, you'll be able to do whatever you want to do the rest of your life. So I mean, it's simple, but it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, especially for NFL players, we're getting those paychecks. I mean, I think everyone could take a thing or two from that advice, but with you guys, I mean, that timeline accelerates pretty quickly. So that second contract must be nice. So I'm hoping to get there quick for you, for sure. Now, you bring a lot of versatility to this cornerback room from your time at Maryland. You know, the playing inside and outside, your coverage and tackling abilities are both kind of well documented at this point. And it seems like that versatility is exactly what Coach Klingscale's talked about a ton since minicamp, really. What has the development been like under Coach Klingscale specifically, and where do you feel your game has progressed the most since joining the team because of that development?
I would just say the one thing I seen from the first day I got here, Coach Klink, he's very passionate. He loves football. He's going to coach you hard. So really for me, it's just every day coming to practice, ready to work, ready to learn. But then also versatility, being able to play inside, outside, wherever they need me at. But then also like the defense that we run, you got to really make sure that you know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Making sure you're in your playbook, making sure you're updating on the checks, watching film, and just also doing that consistently every day. So, I mean, I would just say me personally, I do bring versatility to the room, but also it's really knowing how to create a role or be a factor, if that makes sense. So understanding that from Coach Klink really just coaches me hard every day. He coaches all the guys hard, but really he just makes us understand how important it is to know what you're doing and also the guy next to you. So I would say a lot of the guys on the team are versatile because a lot of guys on the team know multiple positions, knowing the defense in and out.
Now, it's interesting because you mentioned like that toughness, and we've heard the term bully ball being used a lot as kind of like a phrase from this coaching staff. And you mentioned the mindset that this team kind of needs to exude, and the goals, I think, are a part of that. Like, what does bully ball mean to you and to this team? And like, what should that look like for Chargers fans who are desperate to see that and have that translate to wins?
I would just say it's playing our game, having the opponent where we want to have them, really just controlling the flow of the game. whether that's doing what we do on offense, but really just controlling the game and making sure we get off the field on defense. That's really what it is. Just having control of the game and not feeling stressed or not feeling pressured, and have us in like a different kind of vibe or mood that we don't want to be in. We really just want to have control over the game, have control over what's going on so we can dictate what's going on.
We're talking to Tarheeb still, your Los Angeles Chargers cornerback. Now, let's talk about Jesse Minter here for a second. And Coach Minter, I got to tell, I'll be honest, as soon as Jim Harbaugh was announced as the hire, I was crossing my fingers and begging, doing all of the things to hope that Jesse Minter can come to this team, seeing the success and the praise and all of the accolades that he's gotten. And he's gotten so much praise by players and coaches about creativity and his ability to teach and stack lessons, and ultimately just how awesome the defense is. What is it about Jesse Minter, the coach, and his scheme that you feel helps him connect and teach it so well with you guys? And how do you see it impacting your secondary group specifically?
Well, one, I would just say he's a very, very, very smart coach. He knows a lot of football. He watches a lot of football, and he understands a lot of football and can explain it for a way for anybody to understand. Because like a lot of guys learn differently, a lot of guys see things differently, here like interpret things differently. So,
can you give me an example? Give me an example of that. Like, what do you mean by how he can teach it the same thing 4 different ways?
Well, I would just say some guys you can use different terms, different terminology, and they will understand what you're saying. But he can also break it down to a person that wouldn't understand it in that way. He's able to put football in ways for everyone in the room to understand and get what he's saying to get his point across. That's what I mean.
Okay.
But then also he does like the defense is fun. I can't lie, I love it. You really can make a lot of plays, whether you're if you're rushing, if you're a backer, if you're a DB, like anywhere, any position, set up for you to make plays, but also for you to do your job. Like if you do your job, either the play is going to come to you or you're going to help stop the play and the next person is going to make it. So that also feels good, team defense. But then that's something they really preach. And then I would just say his energy that he brings, guys make plays, he gets all hype, he's super excited.
Jumping
up and down that practice. So, I mean, guys love to play for a guy like that. You know what I'm saying? He brings the energy every day, but also he really wants to win. He has that mindset too. So I would just say it's the best of both worlds.
Now, first preseason game under your belt last week, and that probably had to have been surreal for you. Talk to us about like what it was like going through the tunnel and the performance of yourself and the defense that day.
I would say, yeah, it was definitely kind of crazy because I was out there. I'm like, I'm in the NFL, like playing the NFL game. But I quickly got past that, was really just trying to execute and line up and make sure I knew where I had to be at. I would say the defense, there's always things you could work on. There's always things you could fix. So I would just say that was just the first one to get it out the way, just get everything, knock the butterflies, however guys were feeling, knock the rust off, things like that. But now I feel like it's time to really get into the groove of things. You always got to get the first one out the way. So,
now,
I mean, for me, it was fun. But I'm looking forward to the next one.
And it's always fun to hear. I think it's so bittersweet just to see like the passion, energy, and excitement from players, like their first game or their first practice or their first interception. And I think for you, it's been pretty fun. You said the defense is fun. Like we're seeing you all over the place at camp, which we'll get to in a second. But like during the preseason game, we're seeing this Chargers defense all over the place. Like you have pre and post snap movements. We see like nickel blitzes and disguise coverages. And you talk about like the opportunities that you guys have. Like just tell us about the fun as a DB, knowing that you have this scheme that's kind of like allowing you to do all of these things and everybody gets to eat, so to speak.
I would just say it's really fun knowing that like no matter what position you play, that you have an opportunity to affect the game or make a play on the ball, whether even if it's on the ball or in the run game. And then like the guys up front that are rushing the passer, you want to do a good job to help them out as well. And then they're doing a good job helping you out. So it's like you want to be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. You know you can make a play if you're there, but then obviously it's proof in it. Like we've seen it on film. We've seen it. We've seen how the defense works. All you got to do is execute it. So I think that gets guys really excited because they know if we execute the defense works. And also Coach Minter, he knows how to draw it up. He knows how to scheme it. So just execute it. And I think everybody will be pretty happy with the result we get.
Yeah, I think Chargers fans are so pumped to see this defense, and that was one of the bright spots from that preseason game. And there's a ton of excitement for you, Tarheeb, specifically. I think a lot of people were pumped when they saw your name called and they saw your highlights from Maryland, and then fast forward to training camp, mini camp, and you're all over the place, tackling, physicality, your instincts, like flash PBUs and pick sixes. Like, what are your personal expectations as a rookie this year? Like, what do you want to be able to do this year?
For me, as crazy as it may sound, I just want to be able to play a role on the team to help us win, whatever role that is. So if that's on defense, that's on defense. If that's on special teams, on special teams. If they need me to hold the water, like whatever it is, like I just want to be able to.
Tarheeb still the water boy.
I just want to be able to have a role to contribute to the team winning, because that's really what I want to see at the end of the day. That's what everyone wants. We all want to win, but obviously, if I'm able to have an impact on that, that'd be great. But that's what it really is. Just creating a role for myself to bring value to the team and helping us win.
Love that perspective. Two more quick ones for you. I think there's a lot of folks that talk about this defense, and I think a lot of people are wondering, like, what is the secondary going to look like? Because there's so much new with the secondary. Yourself, you got Cam Hart, you got Christian Fulton. What do you think Chargers fans should expect from the cornerback group? Like, because there's so much that is TBD, it feels like.
Right. I would just say, just know you're going to get competitors out there. That's what I would really say. Those guys that go on the field, they're going to be competitors, and they're going to make plays on the ball. That's what I would really say. In a nutshell, that's what it really is. Just competitors that are going out there to compete every play, making plays on the ball, but also not scared to come down and fit in the run game. So I think people should be excited.
Last one before we let you get out of here. We like to let folks get a chance to get to know players off the field. I see the Spider shirt. It's like blinging everywhere. So I got to ask about that. But tell me a little bit about the hoodie, the sweatshirt, shirt, and then tell me about what you like to do in the off time, what you do, when you're not on the field, what's your favorite food, all that kind of stuff. Like, who is Tarheeb still?
I'll start with the hoodie. The hoodie, I got a whole bunch of Spider hoodies. A lot of people my age probably know about these. Young Thug, he has a clothing brand, Spider, just a little nice hoodie. But who is Tarheeb still?
I'm clearly aging myself because I don't know who that is. So my bad.
Nah,
the Spider piece I don't know. The Young Thug I'm good with. That not so much.
I would say me, I'm really just a simple guy. You know what I'm saying? I love to play football. I'm from New Jersey. I'm one of 5. I got 4 siblings, 3 sisters, 1 brother. I grew up playing basketball, football. I also ran track. But outside of football, I like to do, I really like just hang out, play video games sometimes. I like to get on jet skis. It's crazy. I'm not really a big beach guy, but I like getting on jet skis. I won't get in the water, but I'll slide in the water and all that. I'll fish sometimes. I like to go bowling. I really like to just do fun activities, even if it's stuff I never tried before. But right now I'm in the process of learning how to golf. So I got golf clubs, and I'll be going to the driving range. That's
okay. I'll give you props for trying golf. I'm still trying golf, like 8 years later. It's such a tough sport.
8 years?
I mean, look, that doesn't mean much. I'm barely breaking 100.
I'm in my first 2 months. 8 years.
Okay, how straight are you hitting it right now?
Oh, not straight at all. The ball just keeps going right every time. I maybe hit one straight ball out of maybe like every 30th ball goes perfectly straight. But the one feels good, right? It feels great. And I'm chasing it for 30 more hits. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, I love it. Have you got a chance? You mentioned video games. Have you got a chance to get on the sticks with Derwin yet? With Madden?
Nah, Derwin's always in the locker room playing NCAA 25 though. That's where you can catch him at.
Okay.
I don't think he's that good, me personally, but I'm not like a big Madden guy. Like everybody calls me crazy because I play Fortnite. Like that's the game I play. Okay. I don't have Madden on my game. I don't have NCAA, none of that. I have Fortnite. That's the only game I play.
If anybody wants to come through, play Fortnite, you know where to go. Tarheeb still. Thank you so much for doing this, man. I appreciate your time, and this has been so much fun. Excited to see you guys ball out this year. So much to look forward to. Preseason game number 2 ahead of you, going up against the Rams. What are the vibes like ahead of game number 2?
Really just trying to go out there and put good stuff on tape, have fun, and obviously win. That's the biggest thing. So.
There you go. Mr. Tarheeb Still, your Los Angeles Chargers cornerback, joins Chargers Unleashed. Tarheeb, thank you so much. Best of luck this season. We'll talk to you soon, all right?
Appreciate it. Thank you.